My boss, Michael, was told of my resignation. I had worked for him for 7 years. It started right after my college graduation. He believed my reason was about yesterday. He thought I was angry about the slap. It was not a serious gesture to him. He saw it as a harmless joke between men. He felt I could have simply returned it. Resigning seemed like an extreme reaction. I was a grown man, not a delicate flower. Yesterday, his pen fell under his desk. He asked me to retrieve it for him. My suit trousers stretched tight as I bent. I took my time finding the lost pen. Then I felt the sharp sting on my backside. I straightened up instantly, completely shocked. My disbelief must have been clear on my face. He simply complimented my fitness level. He asked which gym I had been using. He mentioned wanting to get in shape. His wedding was only a few months away. That was when my composure finally broke. I had never shown him such anger before. I threw the pen onto his desk. I then announced my immediate resignation. Afterward, I walked out of the office. Michael has a notoriously short temper. Anyone else would have faced his fury, but he always made an exception for me. He entered the office with a stack of papers. I stood there holding my transfer documents. My boss is 6 feet tall. Many women in the office found him handsome. They often compared him to a movie star. I always thought they were mistaken. Michael was far more compelling than any actor. My voice was polite but distant. I presented the paperwork for his signature. He used to appreciate my professional demeanor. Now it sounded wrong to his ears. He felt I was being ungrateful. 7 years of service ended so coldly. He refused to accept my decision. He told me coldly that he would not sign. Michael asked why I was being so petty. He insisted the slap was a minor thing. He barely used any force at all. My lips formed a tight, silent line. I refused to say another word to him. He then softened his tone slightly. He offered me a reluctant apology. He recalled pranks from his college days. Locker room antics were common among friends. He insisted it was a sign of camaraderie. He offered to take me to a steakhouse. He knew I loved expensive food. I finally interrupted his rambling speech. I told him that was not the reason. My decision to leave was made long ago. Yesterday was just the final push. His face clouded over with anger. He realized I planned this for a while. He had been planning a business trip to London. He was arranging my annual holiday bonus. He was also preparing a significant raise. All this time, I was planning my exit. I took a deep breath and confirmed it. He asked if he had ever mistreated me. My salary was 6 times the industry average. He gave me generous bonuses every year. He reminded me of everything he had done. He had saved me from a terrible man. A sleazy tech mogul wanted to hire me. My graduation was a vulnerable time. A flash of red crossed my face. I told him the money I owed was repaid. The debt was cleared 3 years ago. He countered that it was with his salary. I finally erupted after a moment of silence. 7 years, I shouted his full name. I yelled at him, my voice shaking. I reminded him of my grueling schedule. My day started at 6 in the morning. I was his driver, assistant, and cook. I worked late nights right alongside him. I made him midnight snacks and covered him. He would sleep while I continued to work. Getting to bed before midnight was rare. I was his butler and his personal assistant. I was his chef and his punching bag. I stated that I earned every single penny. My boss was momentarily speechless. He hated when anyone used his full name. He yelled at me not to be so aggressive. He said I could have asked for a raise. He would have given me anything I wanted. He offered to double my salary on the spot. He said I could hire more help for tasks. He reminded me I lived in his penthouse. Leaving meant finding my own apartment. It meant paying bills and utilities alone. I regained my usual calm composure. I told him my mind was made up. The transition would take about a month. I promised to handle everything smoothly. I gave a slight nod and turned to leave. He kicked his desk in a fit of rage. The heavy oak crashed loudly to the floor. This time I did not stop for him. I walked out and closed the door softly. My mind flooded with memories of him. I remembered the day we first met. It happened 7 years ago. The beginning felt like a cheap novel. It involved that sleazy tech mogul. He was a notorious predator in our circle. He had a preference for young college men. I hated him for no particular reason. His arrogance was simply grating, but our social circles often overlapped. It was a private gathering that night. Only a dozen people were in the room. I was there to serve drinks to them. My head ached from the loud music. I saw the mogul cornering a young man. He was forcing alcohol down his throat. The others just laughed and filmed it. This was not an uncommon sight for me. People often compromised their dignity for money. I tried to ignore the unpleasant scene, but the mogul's actions escalated further. He started to get physically aggressive. Then he turned to Michael with a sick grin. He offered to share the young man. That was the moment Michael snapped. His family was old money and powerful. His parents were on the Forbes list. His brothers were respected academics. He had just graduated from Wharton. He unleashed a furious tirade on them. He insulted every single person in that room. I knew he had made powerful enemies, but he did not seem to care at all. As he went to leave, his eyes met mine. I was the young man on the table. I remember his gaze for a moment. Then I closed my eyes in resignation. I expected the worst was yet to come. I knew they would take their anger out on me. But Michael walked back across the room. He shoved the tech mogul aside. He took off his own suit jacket. He draped it over my shoulders gently. Then he lifted me up and carried me out. Looking back, I am grateful for his choice. He was my unexpected, handsome savior. But the reality was less glamorous. I was a heavy adult man, not a child. Michael was also quite intoxicated. He managed about 20 feet down the hall. Then he put me down and told me to leave. I did not run away as he expected. I just stood there, looking at him. My voice was hoarse when I spoke. I asked him, "Do you need me, sir?" A red handprint was on my cheek. My skin looked pale under the dim lights. He was not interested in me that way. He told me to go back inside if I wanted. He knew men like the mogul paid well. He said everyone makes their own choices. He had no right to judge my decisions. He turned and walked away from me. Then his phone rang loudly in the hall. It was his driver, hopelessly lost. Michael hung up in pure frustration. He decided to fire the man on the spot. He turned back and saw me still standing there. He pointed a finger straight at me. "You, help me get a hotel room." He misunderstood my question earlier. I think he believed I was propositioning him. He just wanted a place to sleep. So when I got into his bed, he was shocked. He instinctively kicked me to the floor. I sat there on the carpet, completely dazed. He laughed at my foolish mistake. He pointed to the sofa across the room. He warned me not to try anything else. Later that night, he woke up thirsty. He called for his butler out of habit. I brought him a glass of warm water. He slowly remembered where he was. Under the soft light, my face seemed reliable. He told me his secretary had just quit. His driver was completely incompetent. He desperately needed dependable staff. He asked for my name, Ethan. He asked about my education. He was surprised by my answer. A physics major from an elite university. He wondered why I was in that situation. He tossed his business card at me. He said he needed a new assistant. He told me to come for an interview tomorrow. I clutched the card tightly in my hand. I thanked him with sincere gratitude. The next day, I got the job. I learned he investigated my background. My father had massive gambling debts. Loan sharks had taken my mother. They forced me to work for the mogul. Michael paid off the original loan amount. I signed a 7-year contract with him. My salary grew exponentially over time. And now I wanted to quit my job. I could not understand his confusion. After our fight, I still made him soup. I always did when he worked late. He used to have terrible stomach problems. One time he coughed up blood in the car. The sight had terrified me completely. After that, I managed his diet carefully. His stomach issues had become very rare. What would he do after I was gone? I had trained myself to be indispensable. I knew his every need and preference. Finding a replacement would be difficult. He was also drinking soup across from me. He asked me for the real reason. He wanted a reason he could accept. I answered without looking up. My mother wanted me to come home and marry. Marriage. The word hung in the air. He swallowed his soup with difficulty. He seemed unable to form a single word. He had never considered my personal life. I had lived in his home for years. I never showed interest in anyone. He thought I was focused only on work. He assumed I would stay with him forever. Then he reasoned that it made sense. A man should have his own family, like him and his own fiancée. He did not love her, nor she him. It was a merger of two powerful families. Their marriage would double their net worth. He suppressed his discomfort with my news. He said I would not find a good wife at home. I had residency in New York now. He offered to help me find a wife here. He even offered to pay for the wedding. My face hardened at his suggestion. The thought of him planning my wedding. I told him I could not get married here. I had to go back home to do it. He reminded me of my network in the city. 7 years of hard work, all abandoned. He asked what I would do back home. He said young people should be ambitious. I would be 30 years old next year. I looked at him directly. He said 30 was the prime of life. He himself was 38 and single. He offered me an extended vacation. He said I could travel for a few months. Then I could return and find a good match. He even offered me a promotion. I could run a branch of his company. He said he did not need my care. I lost my temper at his words. I asked who would care for him. His mother was obsessed with card games. She had never truly cared for him. I asked about the children I would have. Would they not deserve a good education? Did he want them to grow up in a small town? I asked where I would find a wife. I had never mentioned a girlfriend to him. He demanded to see a photograph. He wanted her personal information. He intended to run a background check. I sat there without moving a muscle. He stared back, determined to win. Finally, I spoke in a quiet voice. There was no woman, I told him. He raised an eyebrow, sensing a victory. He asked why I would marry then. I like men, I stated clearly. I looked up, meeting his shocked gaze. I repeated myself to be sure he heard. I am gay, I said. Life has a way of being cruel. My boss was facing a series of shocks. His assistant was resigning to get married. And his assistant had just come out. He was utterly and completely speechless. That night he lay awake in bed. He could not process the information. He had a very specific stereotype of gay men. I did not fit his preconceived notions. The only remotely gay thing about me was my neatness. Otherwise, I was just a regular man. He suddenly understood my reaction to the slap. If I was gay, it was workplace harassment. He recalled the feeling of that moment. A strange feeling settled in his stomach. He wondered what kind of man I would find. He worried they might not treat me well. He knew my tendency to suffer in silence. He stared at the ceiling for hours. My room was just one floor above his. We had lived together for 5 years. Colleagues joked I was like his house husband. He would laugh and sling an arm around me. He would joke that I was his work wife. I would always pull away quickly. My cheeks would burn with embarrassment. Now he realized my reaction was genuine. It was his idea for me to move in. My old apartment was small and cold. One winter I caught a bad flu. It quickly developed into pneumonia. But I never told him I was sick. I made a critical error in a presentation. I mixed up some important data points. He was furious with my incompetence. He made me stand in his office for hours. He wanted me to reflect on my mistake. He finally dismissed me with a wave. He heard a loud thud by the door. He found me collapsed on the floor. My skin was burning with a high fever. At the hospital, they diagnosed pneumonia. He could not believe I hid my illness. He insisted on driving me home. But I refused to let him see my place. I told him my apartment was not suitable. He scoffed at my excuse. He had stayed in worse places on trips. I told him the road was too narrow. His expensive car would not fit. The path was muddy from recent rain. His designer shoes would be ruined. He thought I was mocking his wealth. He pulled me from the car angrily. Then he carried me on his back. My home was small, old, and drafty. He was appalled by the living conditions. He knew what my annual salary was. He could not understand why I lived there. He thought people would assume he mistreated me. I quietly admitted I sent money to my mother. My mother was not a responsible person. She had a severe gambling problem. My older brother was also struggling. He had a large family and little income. They all relied on my financial support. I had less than $1,000 saved. He scolded me for my foolish generosity. The fever made me feel weak and vulnerable. When he returned with water, I was crying. I was not sobbing, just wiping silent tears. He saw how truly miserable I was. He handed me the glass of water. I told him my mother would cause a scene. If she did not get money, she would come to his office. He finally understood my predicament. He told me to pack a few things. He said I would stay at his home. He would handle my mother for me. He brought me to his luxurious penthouse. He hired a private doctor for my care. During my month of recovery, he learned things. He discovered I was an excellent cook. He also found out I could fix anything. My physics degree made me good with circuits. He was, at his core, a ruthless capitalist. He saw an opportunity for efficiency. He fired his expensive house manager. I was put in charge of his entire life. The thought of me leaving was unbearable. He suddenly had a brilliant idea. He picked up his phone and posted online. He was urgently looking for a great gay man. He asked his friends for recommendations. He needed someone for tomorrow. With that, he finally fell asleep. If I found a boyfriend in New York, I might stay. He could even vet the candidates himself. He was a genius, he thought proudly. The next morning, I woke him by shouting. He saw my face, my eyes bloodshot. Delete it, I told him. Delete your post now. He yawned, still half asleep. He said no, it did not mention my name. I reminded him not to use my full name. I was desperate but tried to remain calm. I asked if he realized what people would think. Many would now assume that he was gay. He sat up, pulling on his socks. He said he knew and he did not care. I asked about his parents and his fiancée. He walked into the bathroom to wash up. He said his family knew him well. They knew he was straight and getting married. They would not care about some silly post. I stood frozen in the morning light. The sun made my eyelashes golden. The years had changed me completely. I was no longer a timid young man. I had grown into a confident professional. He stared at me for a moment. He had never truly seen me before, not as a person, only as his assistant. Then he held his arms out to me. "Come on, dress me." I went through the familiar motions. I straightened his collar and tied his tie. But for the first time, it felt awkward. I could feel his breath on my skin. He was so close I could embrace him. My hand could easily slip down his back. My mind raced with forbidden thoughts. I stared blankly into the distance. When he suddenly hugged me, I froze. I think he sensed my stiffness. It was a brief, gentle embrace. He smiled and thanked me for everything. He said I had given him a new life. He said he was truly grateful for me. He wished me well and told me to be safe. His own eyes were red and filled with tears. He was the one who was pushing me away, but I was the one feeling guilty. I begged him not to leave. I promised him anything he wanted. He just shook his head and smiled sadly. "I am moving out today, Michael." A professional moving company was coming. He had even hired a new house manager, a top butler from a prestigious academy. My life was arranged perfectly without me. I asked where he would be staying. He said he would be at a hotel. He would return home after finishing work. He nodded and thanked me again for my care. He only knew how to say thank you. If he was grateful, he would not leave. "Fine," I said coldly. "Thank you for what?" I grabbed my car keys and stormed out. I knew that all good things must end. But we had shared so many years. I thought only death could separate us. My phone buzzed incessantly all day. Friends were gossiping and sending jokes. And, of course, my mother had seen it. She called and yelled at me for an hour. She demanded I come home for dinner. That afternoon, the matchmakers arrived. They brought a parade of flamboyant men. The mix of colognes was overwhelming. This was the quality of men in New York? No wonder my assistant wanted to leave. Then another man walked into the office. He wore a simple, well-tailored suit. He stood out from the others immediately. I waved him over to my desk. He smiled politely and handed me a resume. He had an impressive education and skills. I asked him if his family was supportive of his sexual orientation. He hesitated before saying yes. I asked how many boyfriends he had. He told me he had never dated a man. I then asked if he had a girlfriend. He smiled happily and said he was married. His son was in kindergarten now. He assured me his life was stable. I stared at him in disbelief. Why was a married man here? Just then, Ethan walked in the door. He stopped, taking in the scene. His face tightened with controlled anger. He came to my side professionally. He introduced the man as Mr. Zhao. He was the candidate for my new assistant. He had already passed his initial interviews. I finally understood my mistake. I looked at the resume again. I asked if he would quit for $1 million a year. Mr. Zhao was shocked by the offer. He stammered that he would never quit. Only a fool would quit that job. Ethan interjected with a sharp tone. What if you had to work 20 hours a day? What if you had to learn multiple languages? And also serve a foolish, demanding boss? No amount of money is worth your life. Ethan and I were now openly arguing. Mr. Zhao looked terrified. I waved him out of my office. I told Ethan I did not want him. He was not handsome enough for the job. Ethan gestured to the other men. Then let them serve you. I found them specifically for you. Pick one that you like. He spoke without a trace of emotion. I am not worthy of them. Such fine men are for you to enjoy. A surge of anger went through me. I ordered all the men to get out. I yelled at Ethan for his behavior. How could you do this to me? I did nothing to you, Michael. He took a step back from me. You are the one who insulted me. I do not like men like that. Then what kind of men do you like? Are you meeting someone online? Is that why you must go back home? I backed him against the wall. I will go with you to meet him. The thought of it made me sick. Online dating was full of dangers. He told me to move out of his way. I refused and reached for his pocket. I pulled out his personal cell phone. Let me see your conversations. He tried to grab the phone back. Michael, stop being so unreasonable. I wrapped my arm around his waist. He lost his balance and fell backward. He landed on the large conference table. I leaned over him, trapping him there. My hand was braced next to his head. I saw the surprise in his wide eyes. Stop fighting me, Ethan. Let me help you with this. I really cannot let you go alone. His eyes stared at me without blinking. Suddenly, he spoke in a low voice. You always say things like that. Sometimes you are incredibly cruel. He pushed me away and ran out. He left his personal phone behind. I did not understand his words at all. How could my concern be considered cruel? My heart ached with confusion and hurt. Ethan actively avoided me after that. He had a separate phone for work. I held onto his personal one. It was eerily quiet all day. Not even a single spam call came in. I was angry with him, too. I had been so patient and understanding. He was throwing it all back in my face. I went home filled with resentment. The new manager greeted me with a smile. He informed me that my bath was ready. I nodded and went upstairs to wash. After my bath, I started on my work. The manager brought me a glass of milk. He placed it quietly on my desk. I reached for his hand without thinking. Help me look over this document. The manager froze, as did I. Habit is a truly terrible thing. It makes departures feel like slow torture. I released his hand and told him to rest. My mood for work was completely gone. I lay in my bed in the silent house. Nothing was physically missing, but the entire penthouse felt empty. No one is truly irreplaceable in life, but losing someone is always painful. I decided to call Ethan's phone. It rang several times before he answered. I could hear his soft breathing. After a long silence, he spoke. Michael, is there something you need? Your phone is still with me. When are you coming to get it? You can dispose of it as you wish. His voice was light and detached. That number was set up only for you. Only you ever called it. So you will not need it anymore? I took a deep breath to stay calm. I want to take you to dinner in 3 days. Please clear your schedule for it. I do not enjoy crowded places, Michael. It will be just the two of us. We need a proper farewell dinner. We can still be friends, can't we? My flight back home is tomorrow. Why must you be so rebellious? Good night, Michael, he said abruptly. He hung up the phone suddenly. It was the first time he had ever done that. Felt like he was running from me. I tried calling back, but he did not answer. I threw the phone across the room. I stared at the ceiling until dawn. The next day, I went to my parents' house. My mother looked behind me as I entered. Where is he? Why isn't he with you? My entire family adored Ethan. My mother especially doted on him. She called him her little helper. He was the only one who would shop with her. I did not want to tell her the news yet. I knew she would ask endless questions. Your favorite son is here, Mom. Can't you show a little excitement? She was not in a playful mood. What was that social media post about? I have been fielding calls for 2 days. Explaining you are not gay is exhausting. I smiled at her and posed a question. What if I really was gay? She paused, then saw I was joking. She rolled her eyes at my immaturity. You are 38 years old. You still can't even find a wife. But I did find one. Remember? Her expression became unreadable. I know how you found her. I do not approve of this arrangement. Her heart is not with you, Michael. You are just as stubborn as she is. Only Ethan has been able to manage you." She sighed and wrung her hands. If only he had been born a girl. Her words faded into the background. Completely new idea struck my mind. A new path had just opened up. I needed to find Ethan a great boyfriend. Who was a better man than I was? I was a responsible and successful man. I was Michael, the handsome genius. If I decided to pursue Ethan, I would succeed. I had to make him feel secure with me. In the next second, I dropped to my knees. My mother stared at me, confused. "Mom, I am a terrible person, and Ethan must hate me for it." I told her a dramatic, fabricated story. I said I realized I was gay, and that I had drunkenly assaulted Ethan. I had completely taken advantage of him. Now he was leaving because of me. My mother was completely stunned. She called my father and brothers home. At 38, I was beaten by them. They grounded me like a teenager. I was ordered to apologize to Ethan tomorrow. My father threatened to send me to jail. He said he would if Ethan did not forgive me. I was truly their beloved son. That night, I was bruised and sleepless. I decided to look through Ethan's phone. I tried several passwords without success. I had to beg my tech-savvy brother. He finally helped me unlock the device. I knew it was an invasion of privacy, but I had to know about this online man. I had to know my competition. Ethan had to be my assistant or my lover. There was no third option for him. I promised to only look for a little. I ended up reading for 3 hours straight. There was no other man in his life. His chat logs were all with me. His social media was all about me. He had a private blog I never knew about. The first entry was from 5 years ago. "I like my boss, but he is straight. He is older than me and often unshaven. But he is tall and has strong arms. I can never forget how he saved me. He gave me a sense of security. He is usually a quiet, serious man. But lately he talks to me all the time. Sometimes I feel like I am special. I get the illusion that he likes me. But I know that is not the case. This is just how he treats people. I have to suppress my feelings. I cannot let him find out my secret. I still owe him money for my debt. I can only leave after it is paid. I did not control myself well enough. I am now living with my boss. My daily routine now includes his ties and making all of his meals. The variable is waking him up. Sometimes he is already awake. That makes me feel a little sad. So I wake up earlier now. I like watching him while he sleeps. He looks so peaceful and adorable. I wish I could lie down beside him. I love to cook for my boss. I enjoy it as much as a new gadget. He is not a picky eater at all. Today is my birthday, a special day. He took me to a French restaurant. I did not enjoy the fancy food. He made me noodles when we got home. He put too much truffle oil in it. His taste in food is very basic. But I felt incredibly happy then. Today my boss called me his wife. He thought I was angry about it. But I was not angry at all. In my heart, I called him my husband. I wish I could say it out loud. But I do not have the right to do so. I can only ever call him my boss. I feel shy every time I say it. Sometimes I get scared he knows that he is just playing with me. If that is true, I would be hurt. But at least he would know my feelings. Last night, my boss was drunk. I helped him get into his bed. He told me stories about his past. He said I was his favorite person. He said, "I like you the most." I recorded his voice on my phone. I secretly took one of his old pajamas. I hung it in my closet with my clothes. My clothes are on the inside. His pajamas are on the outside. Feels like he is embracing me. I feel guilty for being a creep. But I cannot help myself. Many people tell me to be brave. They say I should confess my love. But I cannot do that to him. First, my boss is definitely straight. Second, I love his family dearly. They have been like my own family. I cannot bear their disappointment. This unrequited love is my own burden. My boss's feelings are uncertain. Sometimes I think he likes me. Other times I think he does not. This uncertainty is painful for me. But I do not want to know the truth. I can be his assistant for my whole life. I never want to know the final answer. I am a coward in matters of love. My boss's stomachaches are gone. But now I am the one who is sick. I have been having dizzy spells. I need to go to the hospital soon. I need to stay healthy for him. I want to take care of him when he is old. My boss is getting married soon. Some loves are rare and unattainable. I thought we had a special connection, but our bond was not that strong. He does not love his fiancée. He is just marrying her for business. If only I had been born a woman, I could have openly pursued his love. A marriage license is so common, but for me it is an impossible dream. But I can be his best man. I can stand beside him at the altar. I can imagine I am the one marrying him, and he will have children of his own. I can be their beloved godfather. He is the father and I am the uncle. That sounds like a good life. Thank you for all your concern. My feelings are no longer the main issue. I have a tumor in my brain. It is benign, but it is pressing on a nerve. The surgery success rate is not high. I have decided to resign my position. I will not be his best man. I will not be a godfather either. I feel like I have had bad luck. But I am also very fortunate. I have lived for 7 extra years. My boss never realized the truth. That night 7 years ago, the window in that room was open. It was on the 37th floor. I planned to jump after he left. My posture was already prepared, but he came back and carried me away. So when you call him a bad person, I will always defend him fiercely. He is the best person in the world. He always says he is a capitalist, but he has the kindest heart. If you disagree, I will fight you. I will not tell my boss about this. Please do not encourage me to do so. He is about to get married soon. I cannot burden him with this news. He would probably cry the big baby. I cannot bear to see him sad. And if he was not sad enough, I would be hurt. It is better for me to go away. Let me pass away peacefully at home. My greatest blessing is not to bother him. I am watching the stars from my balcony. Starlight travels for millions of years. It is a rare thing to be seen. We are seeing stars from the past. Perhaps that star is already gone, but its light proves it once shone. I am glad my boss saw my light. Some things in life cannot be forced. I have many regrets in my life, but I do not regret loving him. I just wish we had more time. It was 3 in the morning. I was the man he was running to, and my assistant was dying. I called his phone repeatedly, but his phone was turned off. I called his friends and family. No one knew where he had gone. I drove to the police station. I asked a friend to track his phone. Took until 10 in the morning. I finally found his last location. He had taken a flight to Munich, Germany. He was probably seeking a specialist. But I had no contacts in Germany. I flew to Munich immediately. I went to every hospital I could find. I could not find any record of him. Anxiety was eating me alive. Was this my fault? Did my demands cause his illness? I pushed him too hard for too long. A week passed with no news. I returned to the US, defeated. I offered $1 million reward. Information leading to Ethan's location. The business world buzzed with gossip. Everyone knew I was desperately searching. Luckily, my network was extensive. 3 days later, I had a location. He was in a wellness center in Chengdu. I flew there without a moment's delay. The center was deep in the mountains. There was a panda reserve nearby. I saw him on a sunny winter day. He looked different, more at peace. He wore a loose white sweater. He was lounging on a rocking chair. He had headphones in his ears. A small kitten was at his feet. He bent down without opening his eyes. The kitten jumped into his lap, curled into a white, fluffy ball. He smiled and rocked gently. He looked happy and content. He had even gained some weight. His skin looked healthy and clear. I, on the other hand, was a mess. I had lost 30 pounds in 10 days. I looked more like the patient. I stood beside him, waiting. I wanted to see his expression. I was sure he would be surprised. I took out my phone and started recording. I filmed him petting the small kitten. His long fingers moved through the fur. The light made his hands look beautiful. He had always wanted to own a cat. I had refused his request. I did not want him distracted, so he started feeding stray cats instead. He got scratched multiple times. He needed 4 rabies shots over the years. He never learned his lesson. He was always drawn to what he loved. He was never afraid of getting hurt. Another, larger cat appeared. It rubbed against his pant leg. He lowered his hand to pet it. The cat was startled and raised a paw. His claws were about to scratch him. I shouted and rushed forward. I grabbed his hand to protect it. How many times have I told you? Do not touch these stray animals. Your immune system is weak now. He opened his eyes with a jolt. He grabbed my hand tightly. His breathing was shaky and uneven. Michael, how did you get here? I snorted. How do you think? His eyes welled up with tears, but he was smiling through them. I was so scared you would come, and so scared you would not. I noticed a serious problem then. His eyes had no focus at all. He was not looking directly at me. His ear was turned in my direction. He had kept his eyes closed for a reason. Can you not see me, Ethan? I waved my hand in front of his face. He did not react to the movement. How did you find me here? I read your blog, I said honestly. His face flushed a deep crimson. Michael, how could you do that? That is an invasion of my privacy. The blog was a different side of him. It was a stark contrast to his usual self. He had always been so stoic with me. I never knew he had such deep feelings. I could not be blamed for not knowing. He had hidden his love too well. He was so shocked he tried to stand. He threw the cat in his lap at me. He did not know I was kneeling. He tripped over me and we both fell. We rolled on the ground together. I cushioned his fall with my body. I was not happy with this place. Why is no one watching you? You are blind, you need assistance. I wiped cat fur from my face. What if one of these cats hurt you? He pushed against my chest weakly. Let me go, Michael. My voice caught in my throat. He felt warm and smelled pleasant. Stay still. Let me hold you. He stopped struggling against me. He rested his head on my shoulder. I had been so tense these past weeks, worried he was suffering alone. Holding him now felt so real. My heart finally started to calm down. Tell me about your eyes. The tumor is pressing on the nerve. His voice was a soft whisper. Sometimes I can see, sometimes not. When is the surgery scheduled? I could not see his expression. The German doctors said it is risky. The success rate is very low. There is a high chance of recurrence. I do not want to have the surgery. My face hardened at his words. Is that how you value your life? We have better doctors in America. Pack your things. We are going home. Michael, you are being bossy again. He sighed in my ear. You are not respecting my wishes. I do not want the surgery. Normally, I would have been angry, but the sun was warm and he smelled nice. What will I do if you die? If you leave, I will never recover. I will be alone for the rest of my life. Can you please try to live for me? I will be with you every step. Ethan went completely still in my arms. You are not disgusted by me? You are a little bit of a creep. I paused, then added, but I like it. I thought he would be touched. Instead, he started struggling again. I held him tighter and refused to let go. He started patting my stomach. Michael, where is your belly? It is not a belly, I snapped. I was very conscious of my image now. It was a sign of maturity. A successful man has a small paunch. Watch your words, Mr. Secretary. He touched my face gently. His eyes were red again. You have lost so much weight. Even your double chin is gone. I seriously doubted his aesthetic sense. I was a handsome man with or without weight. My weight gain started with his cooking. He made sure I ate 5 meals a day. He would even make me midnight snacks. He was afraid my stomach would act up. Now I wondered if it was deliberate. Maybe he was fattening me up to make me less attractive to women. What a wonderfully creepy thought. Has your stomach been bothering you? He asked with tears in his eyes. I wiped his tears away with my thumb. No, I have been fine. Do not cry. If you care about me, have the surgery. Cannot live without you, Ethan. I only like the food you make for me. You have to fight this for us. When you are better, we can travel. This is not a death sentence. I will get you the best doctors. He shook his head slightly. You have your fiancée now. It would be unfair to her. Thank you, Michael, but no. He always found ways to anger me. I am not marrying her, you fool. I am not that kind of person. Listen to me very carefully, Ethan. From now on, I am your man. My money and my family are yours. You just have to focus on one thing. You have to live for me. I carried him back to his room. He was crying uncontrollably now. I did not have any tissues with me. He was getting tears and snot on me. Is that tears or snot on my neck? His voice was thick with emotion. Tears, he sniffled quietly. You can use my shirt to wipe it. Your tear ducts are like a fire hose. No, your shirt is too expensive. We had to postpone our return. Ethan had donated to the panda reserve. He had an appointment to pet a panda. It was his dream to do so. He spent a fortune for 5 minutes. He was a strange and wonderful man. His vision was better after crying. The keepers brought out a baby panda. It was a small, fluffy ball of fur. Ethan gently touched its ears. He looked happier than I had ever seen him. The keeper asked if he wanted to hold it. Ethan was shocked by the offer. He knew there were strict rules. The keeper said he was a lucky guest. He was allowed a special privilege. He held the panda like a baby. Michael, I am holding a panda. He whispered to me in awe. I took pictures for him. Of course he could hold it. I had just made another large donation. Then he showed me his favorite panda. It was a large adult male. It sat on a stool eating bamboo. Ethan said the panda reminded him of me. I was initially offended by this, but it was his favorite panda, so I was a little bit pleased. I leaned over and kissed him. He covered his face, blushing deeply. We returned to New York that evening. Death is the great equalizer in life. It does not care if you are rich or poor. I had lived a privileged life. I never expected such a challenge. Ethan's surgery was scheduled in 10 days. I could not sleep during that time. I lay in the bed next to his. When he slept, I would lie with him. I would hold his wrist and count his pulse. I was terrified he would die in his sleep. My mother would come during the day. I would take naps in my car. I had to be strong for him. I was his only source of support. The night before the surgery, he came to my bed. He climbed in and I held him close. I am scared, he whispered into my chest. My own eyes stung with tears. but I could not show my fear to him. I patted his back reassuringly. It is a minor surgery, nothing to fear. I will be right outside the door. Even death is afraid of me. I worry that I wasted 7 years. If I had been braver sooner. What if tomorrow is my last day? He was starting to get emotional. If you had told me sooner, I would have fired you. I was a very difficult boss, you know. You are the best thing that happened to me. He seemed satisfied with my answer. Do you want me, Michael? Do not tempt me now, you little devil. You will have plenty of time for that later. There is no what if, I said firmly. He nodded against my chest. I tilted his chin up and kissed him. It was our first real kiss. Passionate and a little clumsy. When we pulled apart, we were breathless. You are so aggressive, he murmured. He tasted sweet and a little tart. You have had a lot of bad luck. But my luck is very good. I will give all of it to you now. You have to survive this, Ethan. His eyes were shining with tears. I will not disappoint you, boss. I will live to take care of you. His words ruined the romantic mood, but I was deeply touched by them. The surgery lasted for 13 hours. I stood outside the entire time. I had promised him I would be there. I did not want him to feel alone. Finally, the doctor came out. He said the surgery was a success. I finally allowed myself to relax. After Ethan woke up, I slept for days. He had to shave his head for the surgery. He looked like a handsome young monk. At our wedding, his hair was still short. I was at my physical peak then. Caring for him forced me to be healthy. My six-pack had returned in full force. It was a beautiful outdoor wedding. Many of our friends and family came. I made Ethan post our vows online. He was hesitant at first. Is it appropriate, Michael? Of course it is appropriate. Love is love, no matter who it is. He smiled, a brilliant, genuine smile. That sounds just like you. I knew our wedding was scandalous, but I did not care what anyone thought. Ethan was my husband, and I loved him. I wanted the whole world to know it, and I wanted them to be happy for us. The sun was bright. The sky was blue. We stood on the green lawn together. We exchanged our vows and our rings. I kissed him deeply and seriously. From now on, you call me husband. He was shy and blushed bright red. He whispered the word husband softly. I announced it loudly to our guests. From today, Ethan is my husband. You are all welcome to be jealous. He tried to hide behind me. I pulled him out for another kiss. We spent 2 years on our honeymoon. We visited all the places he dreamed of. Now life is back to normal, and I am happy to report one thing. Love makes you fat and happy. My six-pack is once again just one.